This is a Tape Deck podcast.
Hello, and welcome back to We'll Run For. This is your host, Tom. And with me, as always, are Aaron.
Hello?
Michael.
Hello.
And Diana.
Hi. What's going on with the energy
most
level?
Low energy.
Man, I'll tell you what, I was listening on the runs on the way home.
Wow.
Eric would never stand for that.
That'll get you going. That'll get you going.
Yeah, he was jazzed.
He's always jazzed.
Jazzed, as they say. Also, he was down in Atlantic City.
Oh.
I don't know, that's what he said at the beginning of the last episode. I didn't get super far into it because I was driving.
Okay. Interesting.
Should I try it again?
No,
No, we're
this is
good.
we're
It's
started.
over.
We
We
can't
can't.
go
No,
backwards.
we're in it.
There's no going back.
We never go back.
That's right.
We do have their little poop guy on our laptop.
Stool.
Now.
Oh, Stoolie.
Yeah.
Tom wants a mascot.
I think we might need a mascot, and not like Greg from Rise and Run. Oh, we could actually do like an animated Greg from Rise and Run
As our mascot.
As our
As
mascot.
my
our
God.
mascot.
I can't even imagine.
It could be Philly Greg.
Philly.
Oh my God.
Philly Greg Franklin.
He can be our gritty.
Oh,
could be our
he
Gritty.
is our Gritty.
Wow.
Oh.
Not even 2 minutes in and we're off the rails.
Oh my gosh.
God.
Fine.
Did you leave? I know we did this while we were walking, but we were laughing about Patreon, and we said that our top tier was going to be Greg level Patreon. Did that make it to the
yes.
episode we released?
I don't remember. We probably did. Yeah, I would assume that did.
For
yeah.
when? When we were at the Donna?
At the Donna.
I
Yeah.
didn't, no, I
no,
didn't do
on
that
the ground
yet.
didn't drop yet.
So heads up,
Oh.
I have all the on the ground audio somewhere.
Yeah,
I
there's a
have
lot of
had-
it actually.
I have had zero mental energy to do it this week.
Yeah,
so
there
this
was-
episode is going to come out first.
Yeah, there
Ah,
was
that's fine.
quite a bit of content because I spent my weekend yelling at Tom to get content.
That's true.
Oh.
That is true.
Well, look, you listened. And some other news. We did launch our February challenge, and we'll say
Yeah.
we were at dinner.
While we were at the Donna.
Yeah, well, and we were at dinner the night before, and we were like, hey, tomorrow's February. You got that challenge going. And then Tom yelled at me that he's doing it alone, where in the last episode, he said he's doing it all by himself and doesn't want any input from anyone.
Yep.
I apologize. I was stressed.
Yep. I mean, I don't remember much from that dinner anyway,
Oh my.
so
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't put any.
That was a interesting dinner.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It was fine. It was delightful.
I'm not sure if anybody other than you, Marcia, and Melissa understood how off the rails that was.
Oh, yeah.
Diana, did you recognize when I walked in how out of control I was?
Yes.
Kind of.
Well, here's a little thing. So our valet at the Coop was our valet at dinner on Sunday night.
At a
Oh.
totally different restaurant.
different restaurant.
Like far away too, not even like on the same, like in the same area.
Inland.
Wow.
And he remembered us.
Of course he did. And he's probably in a Hallmark movie right now,
Just parking cars everywhere.
just parking cars across the city.
He definitely remembered us. I mean, we were like in the whitest place on earth, so it could be because you were Asian and bald.
Oh, could be.
Or because I was really high off of morphine and
There was
oxy.
that too.
I had scallops. You had morphine. It was a delightful dinner.
Here's a hot tip: before you take your opioids, eat something.
I don't know what you're talking about. Don't know what anyone's talking about.
Just eat something.
The more you know.
Yes.
Oh, God.
So, how's it going, everyone?
It's going.
It's going.
It's been a
Yeah.
tough couple weeks again. Always. I mean, we had a good time down at Donna, but
Yeah.
and we'll chat about that. But yeah, health-wise, things are, I don't know. Been in a decent amount of pain, trying to figure out what's going on. Obviously, when we talk about the Donna, I was in a chair. So I went from being able to run a marathon in November to needing to being pushed in a chair to run a race. But you know what? It was a good time, and I'm glad that I had as much support and as many people down there as we had, and good times were had by all. Just a little bit more painful than I would like my life to be right now, but hopefully we will be figuring that out. I'm on a new pain management program. I start radiation again next week for some metastasis that is in my spine. So we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
I not to get too gross with it, but we'll talk about the Donna half. Pro tip, you should clip your toenails because
Oh my God, they're so bad.
Both of my big toes spent 13.1 miles smashing into the front of my shoes. And they're the right size shoes and all that. But I had so much pain in both big toes.
Yeah, that'll hurt after a while.
Yeah.
I clipped back the left foot.
Ugh.
And this is after Diana went to bed because I'm like, there's a tremendous, it was just throbbing, aching, searing pain. And I'm like, what the hell? Because I thought I was going to lose the nail. The amount of pus.
Oh,
Girl,
gross.
that came out of that toe, I'm telling you, immediate relief. Immediate relief.
Yeah, that'll feel a lot better. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Like I went from almost not being able to walk, I was hobbled. And then I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
I was like, let's go.
Yeah, he was like,
It's
Disgusting.
Gross. It's really gross.
Disgusting.
Look, if you
I'm
didn't
glad-
want gross, go listen to Rise and Run.
I'm glad I'm glad I went to bed for that. I'm glad I
That's fair.
missed it. Like, I'm glad I wasn't sitting there.
Yeah, I mean,
When it happened.
that's the things that Michael likes to do to me, where he'll just be sitting there clipping his toenail and it'll be all up in my face. So, you know.
Well, he had started, but
least,
I guess he got
he was
like more
nice.
aggressive with it. Like after I
More
left the
aggressive.
room.
I should have gone. I should have gone live on IGA or something.
Oh, man.
God, help us all.
You could have monetized that.
No.
I should have monetized that.
Ugh. God, but they look so gnarly. Like you have to cut them back. Like you have to keep your nails so short.
Yeah.
Like they don't stick out from like the toe at all. Like they have to be as short as you can physically get them because there's something wrong with your feet.
Look, don't put my feet in a box.
And honestly, you should have been getting like pedicures like every other month. Just keeping them. You can't go. Those ladies will not have you now. You can't go back.
They
You
would.
know how you can avoid that? Just lose your toenails.
Oh, God. Gross.
Oh, God.
I hate everyone.
In other news, I'm thinking about signing up for the Great Saunter, although it did sell out this year, which is weird.
Wow, that's
Oh.
awesome.
I don't know how many bibs they make, but I mean,
So that means you're not going to be signing up for the Great Saunter.
I can't imagine it's 1,000 people. That sounds like a lot of people to be just walking around the outside of Manhattan.
I can't imagine what's going on or what will be going on with your feet post 36 miles.
Can you imagine?
He's got
I think-
blisters from Sunday. Like,
Man, I
Just-
think you need to size up the shoes.
yeah. I mean, I wear like
Half a size bigger.
a half a size
It's
bigger.
like
'cause I'm
somebody
usually,
has
like,
been telling you for 5 to 10 years of your life that you should size up, and now you're trying to give advice. On sizing up
I've
on-
learned my
on
lesson many
shoes.
years ago / last year.
Oh my
Yeah.
God,
yeah, I
I
mean,
cannot.
my regular shoes are like a 7.5, mostly an 8, and all my running shoes are 8.5.
Y'all are killing me.
They'll help the toes out.
I've been saying that for years. It's like someone finally decided to take my advice 10 years later.
It'll definitely help the big toes hitting the front, though.
Oh, my God.
And you were wide already, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, just go half a size bigger.
And tape up the feet when you do the saunter.
I got to see if I can get a bib.
Is it sold? Wait, I missed it. Is it sold out?
It's sold out.
Oh, I thought you said it sold. I thought you meant like it sold out last year.
Yeah, it's sold out this year. But
Don't you have an in?
Don't you? I was like,
I kind of
doesn't your friend run it?
I could probably get a bib if I wanted one. Speaking of pus-filled toes, Michael,
Yes.
do we have any new 5-star reviews?
My
We
God.
do.
What? That was a weird transition, man.
We actually have four
What?
new reviews.
What?
Yup. So we got TZA 2011, Tizza 2011. Hopefully that is not the year they were born. Excellent
God.
podcast to listen to while running, driving to a run, walking, cleaning up around the house, or while Googling your heroes like Patti LaBelle, Ben Franklin, the cast of Outer Banks, or Greg. Give it a listen. The chemistry is palpable.
Oh, my God.
God, why do we always have so much going on? Like, there's just so much nonsense.
Imagine searching for Greg. Oh, and it was titled "I Have No Shame." So I don't know. That's fair.
By the way, that was me.
Oh, was that you? Oh my God, that doesn't count.
I know
That's
it doesn't
like-
count, but it counted towards our number.
Oh, my
That's
God.
like podcasturbation.
That's true.
Oh, my God.
Tizza was my Wu-Tang name.
That's what I was gonna say. It had to be a Wu-Tang name. The RZA, the Jizza.
Oh, my God.
Look,
Are you Roll'em 1, 2, 3 also?
I am not. I'm nobody else.
Okay. If you like running and Disney, you'll enjoy listening to this fun group. I especially like the Inside the Runner Studios episodes, where runners of all levels share stories and their running journey. This is a fun and relatable crowd, perfect to listen to on a long run.
Oh, that's really nice.
We got our friend Meredith, Scooter Dude, of course. Aaron, Diana, Tom, and Michael, truly the best. Their friendship is refreshing, and it translates well across the airwaves. I love the community they've cultivated through the years, and I'm looking forward to many more episodes. Thank you for being my go-to podcast, especially when I'm doing 1,000-piece puzzles.
Scooter dude.
Yeah, she's been all up in your challenge.
Yes, she has.
Remember that year that she did a challenge with us and then broke her foot?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Let's
She broke-
not
she broke
injure
her
her
foot.
this time.
She broke her foot on the Peloton, didn't she?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Doing the Peloton challenge with us.
Every time, because I do the Peloton most days, every time I like snap myself out of it, I have like a mini panic attack. I'm like,
I think about her every time I get off the bike. Yeah,
Yeah.
I do.
yeah,
Every single time.
like
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
time I'm like, oh,
I'm like
God.
extra careful. And then we have Holly does a half. Found we'll run for through bleep bleep. No, sorry, it was Rise and
Cute.
Run. And so happy I did. It's inspiring and hysterical and keeps me moving in my long runs. Love the realness of the conversation. Some weeks I'm killing it on training, and then sometimes life ends up lifing, and they make me feel like it's not just me. Love to have the show in my lineup.
Life gets lifey.
Yeah, if you ever need a reality check, this is definitely the podcast for you.
Thank you, everyone, for your reviews. Especially that first one by Tizza. That was nice.
Oh
Just
my
a
God.
mess.
What is 2011?
I guess it's when I started something.
Oh my God. You don't
Maybe-
I
even
think
know.
doesn't your
Maybe
but doesn't
iTunes?
your Instagram have some weird number in it?
Oh God.
It's when I started whatever that thing was. So
Yeah,
that's gotta
because
be
your Instagram's
iTunes.
like Tom Stover something.
Would that be like the first iPhone I got? Maybe.
Isn't it's like a really weird year. Like it's like T Stover 2012 or something
Yep,
like that.
there it is. I just opened it.
That's
It's
when I
T Stover
started
2012.
Instagram.
Yeah, I knew it was a weird year because I've always wondered what that year meant to you.
Nothing, apparently.
Absolutely nothing.
Well, okay then. Now we know.
So hey, friends,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What are we running for this week?
Running? Oh my God! Is anyone running?
I surely am not running. I'm not allowed to run.
It's fair.
So I'm running for Diana's goal of me sitting on my ass doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah, you're grounded. I've been trying to tell you're grounded.
I'm still grounded.
You're still grounded.
I'm hoping to run this weekend.
I'm running because that stupid rat, Puxatani Phil, and this is science, he saw his shadow, and we're supposed to get 6 more weeks of winter, and
Nightmares.
I'm over it. I'm running for the springtime and warmer temperatures until it becomes summer, and we start complaining that it's too hot.
Yes. Well, I never
Because-
complain it's too hot.
Because nobody can please anybody, so just
True.
slightly warmer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it's
what I'm running
miserable
for.
right now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
gross.
I mean, I was gonna say like my goal, but I'm really running to get back into it because we walked all the races this weekend. And I actually did not feel miserable, which we'll talk about later, which I think is good because I've been really consistent on the bike and doing other things. So I was doing an okay job when it was slightly warmer of like alternating riding the bike and running. But then it got cold and miserable out and dark. So I've just been exclusively doing the bike. So I want to start incorporating running back into it because we've got some spring races. I need a new Disney proof of time, so I want to try and do that before I.
God, I got to do that too.
Yeah, it's a nightmare. So yeah, before I go in to get my knee fixed, I want to make sure I get a proof of time.
Yeah, so I guess I'm running just to keep my head above water as we go through our life journey over here. I don't know last weekend I did actually get outside because we were at the Donna. I think it was when we got back. I was going to go for a run on Monday, I think it was when we got back. Or was it Tuesday?
I don't know. We got back on Monday.
Maybe it was Tuesday. I don't know. Or maybe it was before we left. I was going to go for a run. And I walked out the door. It wasn't even that cold out. It was like 40 degrees. And I was like, nah. And I went back in and got on the treadmill on the bike.
Oh, well, at least you did something.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't do nothing. I hiked on the treadmill. I probably rode the bike or went on the treadmill. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's so hard
it's
to
just
get
like-
motivated when it's just gross out and it's
Yeah.
dark and it's just winter.
And this was one of the quote unquote nice days, so it wasn't like that bad out or anything. I was just like, I don't feel like figuring out what exactly to wear because it's 40 degrees, so I'm going to be too hot in almost anything but a t-shirt. But I'm also going to be miserable and cold for like the first mile. So I'm like, do I want to be that? And I was like, I'll just get on the treadmill. But I
Yeah.
will be running outside this weekend because we have a broken windshield that I have to go take to the place, and I will run back from there.
Oh my
there you
god.
go.
So there is that, which is a whole mile and a half away.
Yeah.
so.
Well, when it's cold, like like our fitness center is, I don't know, a quarter mile, maybe if that. And I don't want to walk up there and get on the
Yeah,
treadmill
that's
when
fair.
it's cold.
That's fair.
Like, it's just, you don't want to do it, and I get it. Yeah, so I guess we're all trying to get back into some type of movement.
Nope, not me. I'm a couch goblin.
No, you gotta get back
For
into
the rest of my
movement.
life.
You gotta get back into movement also.
I'm not allowed.
What do you mean you're not allowed?
I mean, I'm not allowed. Everything hurts.
You're allowed to move some.
Barely.
Do some light stretching. Oh, go onto the Peloton app and do man stretches like I do. So I picked the guy that looks like super not flexible, and that's whose stretch I do because I'm not flexible. I'm like, which beefy man looks like he can't touch his
That's
toes?
a good-
That's
that's
what
the way to
I'm
do it.
doing.
That's the way to do
That's
it.
funny. Yeah, I don't know. It's all too hard.
I know.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
is.
slowly but
It is.
surely. Slowly but surely. I'm actually impressed because when we got back from the Donna Monday, and I didn't get on because my legs were really tired, but I actually kept because I do Monday through Thursday, kind of like my little workout routine. So I didn't do the bike, but I did do my arm workout on Monday. And then I've actually been feeling okay all week. So I did like a low impact ride on Tuesday and then
nice.
have done like all my leg stuff. And so, yeah,
Proud
not
of
slowing
you.
down. I never do that. I usually have to take off all kinds of time after a half. Or at least a few days.
You continue to kill it.
So I'm feeling okay. Although I was sore. I don't know. What's the muscle? And I want to say saddlebags, but that can't be the technical term. Like what's the muscle on like the side of your thigh?
Your hip flexor?
Is that but like
Your
on like
IT band?
I don't know. Like the outside of my legs hurt all day Sunday afternoon.
That's your IT band.
They just were like, it wasn't like they just were, they felt overworked. They felt tired. Like for,
Yeah, your
I think
IT
Monday
band
and then
goes on the, like the outside of your leg from your hip down to your knee.
yeah. So it was just kind of like the outside of my thighs, but like my quads and stuff weren't hurting. My feet actually didn't hurt as bad as I thought they would. They hurt a little on Sunday.
Yeah.
But overall I felt okay, which is good. So
It's weird that I covered 13 miles and did less than 4,000 steps that day because I was sitting in a chair the whole time.
I know. Everyone's like, "Can we swap out? Like, can we get in there?" We're like, "We got to take turns."
Oh my god! I tell you what, my butt felt it. I was surprised. I was like Monday. I was like, "Ooh!" I was like, my butt feels a little tight.
Well, because you
you
kind
were the
of
one
you're walking
pushing
a
me.
little different, like because you're walking
Yeah.
almost
And
like
you
your butt's like
weren't
sticking
using-
out.
And you don't use your arms at all during it.
No, that's true.
So yeah,
It did tighten up my butt a little. Did it look better?
there you go.
Yes, amazing. Keeping it tight.
I thought you were asking me.
Keeping it tight.
Turn around on the screen and they can see.
So would you say? I don't know. How about
Keeping it PG is my goal? No, never.
Yes, that's fine.
Never.
I dropped a bunch of F-bombs, so there's no PG about me today.
So I think as we're jumping into goal getters, we did launch, which can be part of your goals. I know we briefly mentioned it earlier, but we launched a challenge for February, which is a movement challenge. So there's a calendar tracker, and basically it's Tom wanted to make it. I don't know why I'm talking for you. I'm going to let you explain your challenge.
No, go ahead. Oh, it's just 28 days of movement. However you want to get it. It's just to help motivate each other and kind of push through February, which it's a tough month to train in general because you're either coming off of a race, you're gearing up for something in the summer. So it's kind of a weird in-between month. And, I think we've definitely got a bunch of folks that are participating and sharing their tracker. It was not put together in any kind of efficient way. But I very much thank everyone for participating. Once my gross toes are good, I'm going to definitely start posting my progress. I have some catching up to do. But yeah, everyone keep going and let's celebrate each other.
Yeah. Well, you've been walking the dog. You've been moving a little bit.
Yeah. I really gotta get on that bike.
Yeah, or just do some stretching or some yoga. I think I'm going to do yoga tomorrow because it's a rest day for me.
That's a good idea.
And I'm not good at yoga.
I hate yoga.
I
That's
hate
what
yoga.
I keep saying that I need to get back to try and stretch my back, but my back hurts, so I don't know whether I don't know what would be good for me at this point.
What about
I gotta go to PT.
the happy
really
baby?
What I gotta do. They wanted me to go to PT. It's just hard because I'm on drugs, so I can't drive myself anywhere. So that's super frustrating. That I'm just sort of, chained to the house.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But yeah, I gotta get back. I gotta try and get to PT a little bit to see what they suggest as far as re-strengthening some of my back muscles and being able to move a little bit better.
Yeah.
So is that a goal of yours?
Yes, it is a goal of mine.
And now, it's time for our Will Run 4 Goal Getters. Congrats on making your goals, you getters. Oh, you runs the shit.
All right, so our first goal getter is Tim, who has been participating in the challenge. He's been posting every day. He says, Tim, he slid into our DMs. And what is that note from Tom?
Yes.
He
wrote the note, though.
He sent a note.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That it's sliding into the DMs. Since the start of the year, I've made a conscious effort to lift weights 4 to 5 times a week and ride or swim every day. And although it hasn't been perfect, I'm feeling better and stronger, especially when riding outdoors. Hell, I've even been working out after dinner and later in the evening. That's insane.
Wow.
That's bonkers
Whoa,
to me.
nice. I love
That's
it.
crazy. Nice job. The best part is incorporating my kids and taking my 16-year-old to the gym and getting him lifting too. I'm also ever so slightly jonesing to get back into running. January was the longest year of a month, but
Yep.
feeling like I'm stepping off in the right foot. Yeah,
Nice.
absolutely. Absolutely. I'm telling you, that strength training, it's a game changer.
Every year, January feels like 800 years, and then February all of a sudden comes, and it's like, oh, how did that happen? It's all over. So, yeah, January felt like the longest month ever. We got Doug, who says, now that we're well past Dopey, I'm focusing on completing the New York Half in March and treating it like a cater training run. My goal race is Brooklyn Half in May. I've been in PT for my knee for a couple months, and I'm getting stronger each day. Gotta get a new proof of time for that next Run Disney season. Here we are with the proof of times.
Awesome. Let's see. We have Jennifer Cook. I'd love to stop getting sick and for my kids to stop getting sick, for it to stop being Arctic cold, and no more snow. I feel that, and I
all
feel
of
worse
that.
for that. Yeah, all of that. All of that.
Oh boy.
All right, our friend Jeremy. Need a goal. Any suggestions? I guess my goal is to find time to run during this busy part of the school year. It's musical season.
Ooh.
Oh.
Oh, I know that cast list is about to go up. Those
What?
kids are flipping out.
What musical are they doing this year? I feel like he may have told us what was coming up on the season, but now I don't remember.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I think he also told us, doesn't he do one of those fun things where he does like a big reveal with the kids? Like that
Yeah.
was always a big thing. All right. And then Carrie says, I'm working towards completing the Shamrock Marathon in Virginia Beach in March.
Nice. That's a fun
Awesome.
one.
Yes, you'll have the best time.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, fingers crossed for good weather for you.
Yeah, because that's a toss-up.
Mm-hmm.
Megan Avis says, I think I have Tom 89% in for MCM in October.
Ooh.
I'm not sure. Is that true, Tom? This will be my goal every month until I see his registration. I also have a goal to get my speed back once my IT band gets itself together. I really want to get a 210 or better at the Donna next year.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, she said next year she's going to run for time.
Nice.
Yeah, so.
I'm close. I'm getting mentally there.
Mm-hmm. She
Okay.
said that she's, I don't know if she wore it already, but she says she's doing an unretired marathoner shirt for something.
That's funny.
Oh, God.
All right, we have Meredith against Good to Do. Quality song, Tom. My goal is to get to reformer Pilates 2 to 3 times a week and not hurt myself while doing so.
Oh, nice.
All right, so Meredith is referring to the song that I chose when I posted this. As I mentioned, my anthem, "New Attitude" by Patti LaBelle. So
That's right, from last year. Last episode.
it could have been last year.
At this point, it's true.
Time doesn't matter. Legendary Bill Stewart.
Mm-hmm.
He says, going with Michael's mantra, just move.
Yep.
Maintaining my love of movement. Following this and the 28-day movement challenge, I'm trying to move every day in February. Hashtag new attitude.
There you go. More new attitude.
Oh, God. Makes me laugh. All right. 6-star Erica. Keep up with strength training. It actually helps. Who knew?
Certainly not me.
I know. It's crazy.
Oh,
it's
boy.
crazy.
Erica says, making habits step by step. Running, walking, drinking your water, 10,000 steps a day. Close my Apple Watch rings and read before bed. Doing this since January. Started kickbox training from my husband, and Sunday will be my own celebration, fun run with friends.
That's
Ready for my birthday.
Oh,
Yeah.
yay.
Happy birthday.
Happy
Did we release our
birthday.
episode yet?
I don't think so.
So that'll be
I think
coming
that
up.
one's coming up.
Hers will be coming up.
Yep.
Sorry. Things are a little delayed, as you know. You guys may have noticed we take weeks off here and there. So life is life.
Yep.
So we got Dawn Be Joyful, keeping up with the 10,000 steps a day, and the Will Run for 28-day challenge.
See, there you go. You got
right.
some people motivated, Tom.
And that's 2 for the 10,000 a day challenge. I'm telling you, 10,000 steps a day. Number one, I work from home, so that's also hard, but I do walk the dog. But when it's cold out, I don't know how you people are getting 10,000 steps a day because it's so hard. Like, one day I was convinced I had it, and then I looked at my watch, and I was like 7,000 steps. I was like, this is impossible. It's so much easier. Like, it was so much easier when I went to an office. I'm not willing to go into an office to get the steps, but, you know.
Jack Witzig. Keeping up the strength training and shooting for a fast enough BQ to actually get me to Boston.
Oh, he can do it. You got it,
Yeah.
Jack. Dana Chasing Stars, the 5th star at Tokyo Marathon.
That
Yeah.
was Dana who's with us, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm just putting,
No.
you know, name.
Well, her name
IG
her IG name used to be different too,
Okay.
until somewhat recently.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, she was at our meetup, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah,
She did the
awesome.
whole half with us, I think. Basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep, that's
and pushed
awesome.
you for a bit, actually.
She did. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you see, Tom, the Tokyo Marathon. That's one of the majors.
I mean, God, the shade never stops.
God.
Oh,
Everyone,
my
this past
God.
weekend, everybody was like piling on.
Austria. Everyone talks about Austria a lot.
It's fine.
We
Austria
all
is
like
popular,
to
yes.
talk about Austria a lot.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Crazy runner Michelle trying to find joy by doing what I sometimes love to do: swim, bike, run.
Yeah.
Yes, find the joy in world traveling.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, I mean, Michelle's everywhere. Lisa Chiquita, 19722, to start running again.
Nice.
Yay!
It's hard sometimes to start back up.
And then our friend, the Mermaid Marathoner. Stay consistent with strength training during this marathon build.
Nice.
Yes, the strength
Always
training.
the strength training.
I'm telling you, game changer. And then run, cat, run to PR and fun during Princess Challenge weekend. And she also says, keep kicking ass, Aaron.
Yeah,
Oh boy.
I agree. I have a last minute one here from Jamie who he sent via text, like he thinks he's special or something.
Oh,
My goodness.
priority level.
Hey, last minute goal getter. My goal is to get my fire and desire back. It's
Mhm.
been hard dealing with what I've been told is runner's depression now that I've done the big thing.
Yep.
What's next? So my goal is to get my fire and desire back and get back into running and loving again like I did before. And this, yeah, we've definitely talked about this a bunch.
Mm-hmm.
It's because he did the marathon, you know,
Yep.
and it's now like, now what? You
Yeah,
know?
it's now what? And then also, I know he went through that stage that all newer runners do, where you're signing up for everything. Remember there was like a point in
Yeah,
time where you had like 2 or 3
Here,
races a month? And we all remember doing that, where it's just like you're in for absolutely everything and you get kind of burnt out. And then you kind of fall back and you get that runner depression and you don't know what to do. And then you kind of find a good balance.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say the next goal should not even really be a race. It should just be getting out there 4 times a week or whatever.
Yeah. I agree.
Just make that the goal and make the process what you enjoy versus that end goal. Because the end goal is great and all, but, you know, like the end goal, like the journey to a marathon is a lot.
Yeah.
Especially that first one, you know, because you're really like putting in a lot of work to build an entire base to get to that first one, you know?
Yeah. And he's in Carolina, right? So it's cool, but it's not miserable.
Yeah, he might be slightly less miserable than we are.
And they,
Slightly.
I know we kind of tongue-in-cheek talk trash about Rise and Run, but obviously we love them, and their latest episode is one of the last 2 episodes that they released. Talks about the post-dopey slump.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, that's exactly what we're talking about. Like, how do you get past, once you reach that in your mind, your mental pinnacle, like, how do you get back and keep going, right? Like, what's that next thing? So, check them out. I'm sure they could use the listeners.
We actually... Oops, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was just going to say the dopey thing is the dopey doldrums or whatever is it's the same thing as the marathon thing. It's like, if you need a race, I would shoot for that. But I think now that you've done the marathon, I think if you're not really into doing marathons again, just look for consistency at this point. Rebuild that. Rebuild the consistency.
That's a good idea. Yep.
We missed 2 goal getters from last week, and I had said that I was going to... They came in right as we were recording.
Gotcha.
And I said that we would try and catch up on them. So, real quick, we had Beth Runs Disney from last time, who finished her dopey strong thanks to her coach, Run Fit Mama.
Awesome.
She knew she needed to include some strength training in order to get through the first marathon since 2016, and it made all the difference. I ran my intervals throughout the entire race, which I ran with a new friend I made through Dopey Strong. I lost it when I made it to mile 24 because I knew nothing was going to stop me from getting to the finish.
Yay!
Awesome.
Congratulations!
That's the best one.
Yes. And then Chris of Larson fame.
Larson fame.
Oh my God.
Is this his Houston recap?
Just a quick. Although I didn't run Marathon Weekend, I did enjoy living vicariously through everyone else. It was interesting to hear what people liked and disliked. For goals today was the Houston Marathon, which had been my goal for several months. Although it was cold for Houston, brutally windy, had 2 unplanned porta potty stops, I was pleased to finish strong.
That's awesome.
So,
Yay!
So
Good job.
we missed those 2 goal getters last time. I just wanted to give them quick shout outs before we moved on.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Good.
Which Chris was our last Inside the Runner Studio that dropped.
Yes,
so
it was.
if you haven't listened, head
Check
back
out Chris's. Yep.
to January 27th.
Yep.
So, let's talk about Donna.
Donna. Also, before we get into Donna, I just want to talk about Donna, the person. Her vibes are immaculate. She basically was like, guys, this is my race.
Oh,
My name's Donna.
Donna.
Donna
This is-
of Donna.
A Donna
This-
of Donna.
It's not like in my mind, I was like, this is going to be like in memoriam of Donna.
No, she's like-
Donna is alive. She's sassy. She's sick it, and she's ready to party. Like, I love her. Everything's pink. She's blonde. She looks like she'd be like on a bar somewhere dancing. I love and I don't know this. This is just so I'm projecting all this on her. I love her where she's just like, this is my race. It's called Donna.
She's the mayor. She's literally the mayor of Jacksonville.
Amazing.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
She's literally the mayor of Jacksonville.
Yep,
There
I
you
love
go.
it. Yep. amazing. So I just want to just shout that out because I did not know that.
I knew nothing. I
and
knew nothing about her.
It's incredible. Like when they brought her on stage, I was like, "Hell yeah, Donna!" So,
And she's like I think 3-time Donna Deegan. I think she's a 3-time breast cancer survivor.
Wow.
yeah, yep. And I was kind of reading because when I did my out of office for work, I went and I like linked out to like the race and the foundation and all that. They're just doing such great work for people going through cancer and just providing just things people need and not just research, but like more practical items people need as they're going through treatment. So I think it's great.
She is the first female mayor of Jacksonville. And she was elected in 2023 on
She
the
looks
May
like she's-
16th runoff election.
Yep. She looks like she's down to clown too. I love it. So, yay, Donna.
Love it.
So how did
I met her very quickly.
Yeah.
During the survivors picture.
Oh yeah.
It was her and the race announcer Fitz, and remember when we were around that circle?
Yes.
Yeah. So I met her very, very briefly. That survivors photo was quite something. I actually haven't even seen the picture come out yet, to be honest. I don't know where that picture is dropping, but yeah, the 5K morning there was a survivors picture, and Michael rolled me over to there, which I have to say was a little stimulating, a little overwhelming. Next time, even if I'm in a chair and I'm able to walk, I will walk over to survivor's picture, because being in that chair was a little too much for even me, who is an attention whore. So, yeah.
No, I get that.
All eyes were on the chair.
It's true.
Yeah.
But it was in a very kind, loving
Oh,
way.
yeah, it was. It was definitely, yeah.
Which was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how we want to start this. I mean, we can kind of recap from the get-go. The weekends back in probably about this time last year, right after I was diagnosed. This race has always sort of been on my radar. Melissa, Marsha, and Sarah did it last year. They wore shirts that were, in my honor, and they pet 1 million dogs. And I've always heard that this race was Space Coast vibes as far as the party vibes. Dogs to be pet per mile, drinks to be drank per mile, food to be had per mile. So it was always kind of on my radar. And so when the cancer thing happened, it sort of heightened that. And I decided that I wanted to see if I could get a team together for it. And I am fortunate enough to have people in my life who decided that they wanted to come down and be a part of this. We had about 30 people on our team. Will run for Erin's boobs. And so I'm grateful for that. Back when I put this together, I definitely thought that I would be running or walking it. So it was definitely a very different experience in December, when I figured out that there was probably not much chance of me being able to run this at all. And then by January, figuring out that there was probably not much chance of me walking this at all. We went and rented a Hoyt racing chair. My friend,
I know you just said Hoyt, but in my brain, when you immediately said that, was like Hoyt.
No.
And it made me laugh. So I'm sorry.
Hoyt it was a father-son duo where I guess the father wanted to be able to push the son, so he created this chair. I mean, there's plenty of other race chairs, but this is a very specific chair. It was very comfortable. My friend Dan and Steph have used them before when Steph had a stress fracture. Linda had a back issue. She got pushed at some point during a race. So I had reached out to them about getting a chair. Dan was kindly driving down, so he rented the chair for us. We were able to get that. It was an experience, that part of it, but I'll get to that. I don't know. Like I said, I thought that I'd be running it. I signed up for the 5K, the 10K. Michael was signed up originally for the 5K and the marathon, but he dropped to the half marathon in order to help push me. You guys signed up for the booby challenge also.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually literally called the booby trap challenge.
Yep.
I'm not just calling it the booby challenge. The 5K and the half marathon. The majority of the people have signed up for the half marathon. Yeah, so
What's the other weird distance? The big one?
the 110
Yeah.
Good Lord.
mile, the ultra, it is, Michael considered that for a hot second.
It was funny. Like when that race went off, everyone looked at Michael and they were like, "Are you not doing this?" Like everybody was like, "Should you not be getting out there?"
It was, so that race basically is a race that starts on Saturday right before the 5K and runs 80 something miles.
84.
Basically, you finish the 110 miles by doing the marathon course.
Mm.
So we did see on Saturday, as we were at the meetup, we saw some people running the course over there.
Oh yeah, we did. They were running
Yeah.
up and down the roadway.
Yeah, Lemon Road
Is that
or
what it's
whatever.
called? Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one woman was killing it. She
Yeah.
was, but she looked like really ultra fit.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like your
Mhm.
typical like
Ultra runner.
hardcore-
Yeah. Yeah. With her vest and her self-supported stuff. Yeah.
She was definitely. I guess only like, I think they announced it when we were starting the marathon. Only or the half, whatever. Only 12 people had gotten to that point where they could start the marathon.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Okay.
I don't know how many starters they had for the 110, but they were down to a dozen by the next morning.
Okay.
Gotcha. So you run 84 miles on Saturday, basically stop, and then come back, and then you do the marathon.
Yeah. I mean,
or you
on
can
Sunday.
like, if you time it right, you can roll right into it essentially.
yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So it depends on how fast you are, whether or not you get an opportunity to even
Yeah.
stop.
I guess the person
Gotcha.
who won the 110, Rise and Run, know them. He was an hour ahead of everybody else when he finished the 84.
Okay.
So they must check in at the end of their 84, can sleep or whatever, and then start.
Yeah.
full-
The marathon. Yeah. It's interesting. Anyway, so we flew down Thursday night. Friday we went to the expo. It's a really small expo at the stadium.
Yeah.
I heard everything kind of was very different this year based on previous years. The 5K usually starts and ends inside the stadium. This year it ended outside the stadium. The expo was like in a little side thing, not actually in the stadium.
It was
very
it was in the
tiny
practice.
expo.
Yeah, the practice facility.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a very tiny little expo. I mean,
I think it was typical race size.
Like the
expo.
normal stuff was there, but
Yeah.
like
yeah.
again, I compare everything to Shamrock, and I feel like Shamrock's was bigger.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe. But yeah, all the typical stuff. Alter Ego hats were there,
Yes, which I got one.
and I was interviewed.
Oh,
They
Oh,
asked
boy.
me. They asked me what my why was, and I gave Aaron a shout out. And then I was wearing our Will Run For hat at the time, and they did not post that content.
That's because
probably because you were wearing a Boko hat.
Boko hat for Alter Ego.
Yeah.
Look, I also, because I'm an ambassador in huge air quotes, I approached them in a non-alter ego running hat. I'm like, hey, I'm like a really bad influencer
I'm
Oh my
wearing
God.
somebody else's
or
product.
an ambassador. And
Oh
the
my God.
the guy gave me like 2 koozies, and I bought a hat, and I like the hat.
Yeah.
I have several alter ego hats. I love them. They're my brand. Hashtag ambassador life. But yeah. I mean, typical expo, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, small, just had like a few little booths set up with, where if you forget your socks, your gels, your whatever, you can get them there. There was hats. There was, places where you could buy some gooders. There was some official merch. I bought like a little like light hoodie type thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got a tank top.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes, the merch was pretty cute. So I thought they had some good stuff. A lot of the little booths and things were related to like oncology or women's health and things like that, which was nice.
Yeah, they had the mammogram bus there.
Yeah, I think you can definitely tell it's a race in Florida because when how like you can get all the junk you get from all these vendors at the events and it's pins and this, that, and the other. Most of them had sunscreen, so I came out with like a bunch of like tiny like pocket sunscreens that I was very excited about.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was great. But everyone was really nice. Everyone was really happy to see you, walking around. So. I thought it was just a nice little expo. Apparently, they're tearing down that stadium and building a new one. So that my theory, I wasn't told this, but my theory is they've already started like doing stuff inside the stadium to prepare, and that's why it wasn't in the stadium.
Yeah, I assumed they were either doing something to the field or something like that where they couldn't have people inside. Yeah.
Apparently, they have a football stadium in Florida that doesn't have any type of dome or shading, so that's what they're doing.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
All right. Well, then Friday. Did we do anything Friday night?
Did we meet up already?
Oh, yeah. That was the night that I got really high off of morphine.
Oh, was that Friday?
That was Friday night.
Oh, yeah, that was Friday. And then after the expo, Tom, Nicole, and I went and brewery hopped and drank beer. And then I was mixing in margaritas. So that came to hit me in the ass on Saturday. So I don't drink like that anymore. So I didn't feel well.
Oh, God. Yeah. That was the night that. So I went to Florida without. I had an appointment the day before because I'd been in some pain. And we had tried to get some prescriptions filled prior to me getting to Florida, but didn't quite work out the way that we had hoped. And so they were able to call some down to the CVS in Florida. But by the time I got my hands on it, I was just desperate to get it in my body. And I didn't take time to like think too much ahead other than to pop morphine in my mouth. And I hadn't eaten since like 10 a.m. that day. It was like now 5 p.m. that day. And so that one hit me hard. And I showed up to dinner in quite a state.
Yeah, because we couldn't tell, like when you immediately walked in, we didn't realize that you were just like stoned out of your mind on your prescription drugs.
Yeah.
We're like, what is happening with her? Like, what is going on with you?
Apparently,
it was kind of scary when you walked in, and then when I found out you were just on drugs, I was like, it's way less scary.
Apparently, I was trying to like lay on the table. Michael, of course, walked away for this story to feed the cats or something because the majority of the story should be coming from him. Apparently, I like tried to lay on the table. I was like insisting on food.
Sorry, I turned off my mic for a second because I was putting something in the oven. So, yeah, so we're driving there, right? It's like a half-hour drive. About 10 minutes into the drive, there's a loud snoring coming from the seat next to me. And, like, you can ask Melissa and Marcia, like, anytime I stopped at a light, and I'm talking, like, I mildly stopped at the light. I was driving very smooth and very carefully. Like, her head would bob slightly, And she wake up and go, oh. And I'm like, what is happening? This happened like 4 times on the way to the restaurant. We get to the restaurant, and the reason so we get there, we pull up to the valet, the guy opens my door, and I like hop out real quick. I'm like, dude, I gotta go to the other side real quick. I get over there, and she's like, oh, I wanna go home. I'm tired. I wanna go home. We're basically carrying her up the steps into the restaurant. And I'm like, oh my God. So funny thing is, so we went to dinner on Sunday night.
Yeah, we were saying this earlier.
Yeah, and the
valet remembered us. Yes.
But
it was a total
different restaurant.
We were
valet.
like, and no joke, we were like a half hour away. It just was like the A1A valet company. I guess they send them wherever they're needed. So they worked at multiple restaurants. So it just happens to be like over a half hour away. This guy was working there again. I'm like, of course. The most embarrassing moment. And this guy's like, hey, I remember you from Friday night.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I remember at that dinner coming to kind of like, I remember going to the bathroom with Megan and Marsha. And then I remember...
You definitely needed help.
And then I remember all of a sudden I had a lamb chop in my hand and I was like gnawing on it. Like I didn't cut the lamb chop. I like had picked up the whole lamb chop
a little
and was
lollipop
just eating.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure, but it's still like at a restaurant. I normally wouldn't do that. But I just remember
did eat it with a fork at first.
I just remember having the lamb chop bone in my hand and like gnawing on it. And that's like really the first memory of dinner that I have.
You were yelling about, or not yelling, you were like, oh, calamari.
No.
And stuff like that. It was we were like, oh my God, I hope this food really helps her because this is a hot mess. It did. Like the food, like, it was like what?
It like
maybe
brought
10
you
minutes?
back to life. Yeah.
It brought you right back.
You were back to Aaron within 10 minutes. But like when you first walked in, I was like, well, and because you're ill, like it was really scary to see you walk in like that. Like I said, like I was like the end is nigh. And then all of a sudden you're fine. And I was like, Jesus Christ, Aaron. Like,
welcome to my life every day.
Melissa said that she knew that I was fine when I apparently threw shade at Tom.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like there was a
yeah.
moment where like I was not okay. And then all of a sudden I was throwing shade at Tom and she was like, oh, Aaron's back.
Oh,
my God.
Yeah. So, okay. We had dinner and the next morning,
5K.
5K. We had very, very, very bright pink shirts on.
Yes.
Which, helped immensely find each other.
I loved them.
They were about as bright as you could get.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Not your normal, typical.
They were brighter than all the other pink shirts there.
Yes,
actually,
not your normal, typical cancer pink shirts. They were like as bright as you could get. I did have the chair. That was the morning of the survivor's picture. I also brought Rosie, the pink skeleton. And I put her bib on that said Survivor,
yes.
which everyone thought was ridiculous because I had a skeleton that said Survivor.
I thought because she was a survivor, she should have been named Reba. Nobody appreciated that.
Well, she was pre-named by Sydney and the Melissa Weiner family.
They don't get early 2000s Reba references.
So I could not rename her. Her name was Rosie.
Yep.
But I did think it was funny that I pinned the Survivor bib on her. And she rode in the car with me, and we all sauntered our way through a 5K.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. That was the slowest pace I've ever moved, and I don't understand how we physically did it.
Yeah, that was a very slow 5K.
I do not know either, to be completely honest. And I had zero control over any of it. I did say the next day, like, can we make sure we're going a little faster? Because I, at one point, did not realize that we were doing, like, a 30-minute pace.
It was crazy. Like, I don't understand how we were moving. And then I noticed we were like walking real, like you could, it felt like we were walking slow. So it wasn't like, oh, we were moving slow because we were chatting. It felt like we were dragging ourselves physically through it. I don't know what happened.
I don't think anybody wanted to like take the lead on pace. So it just sort of like kept getting slower somehow.
Yes.
Yeah. And then we'd like, I'd turn around and then we'd lost people. And I was like, how the F are we losing people at this freaking pace?
We're barely moving.
So then I was like, we're barely moving. And then like people would be way far behind. And I was like, I guess we got to slow down. Like I couldn't believe how slow we were moving.
It was a very interesting, I'm not quite sure how and what happened.
I physically can't explain it.
We were sort of like stuck in between like 3 or 4 other really slow groups. So I think that was part of it too, because we had that like whole green shirt group. Yeah. And there was another pink long sleeved group that were like, so I think that because we kind of got stuck so far in the back of the pack, like nobody knew how to like get out of it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was cold because it was slightly cold. It wasn't that cold, but it was back where all the building, like there's like 4 buildings in Jacksonville, and it was around the 4 buildings in Jacksonville. So it was all shaded. So I felt like I couldn't feel my fingers.
Yeah, it was definitely a very interesting one. And I mean, even in the chair, it was very noticeable how slow we were going. And I was like, I don't know how to like...
I'm sure it felt very slow in there.
Yeah.
We were not moving fast.
But I didn't know how to like... Because there was definitely still people that were kind of behind us. And then there were people that were in front of us. So I didn't... And I have no control. And I'm trying like... You know, it's hard when you don't have any control over anything to like tell someone what you want. Because I was trying to like talk to people, but you could only talk to people if they were kind of in front of you with the chair, because I couldn't really turn around.
I felt like we needed to get you a megaphone.
Yeah, I think that like, I just think that we went out too slow, and then nobody knew how to pace once we got stuck kind of in intermingled within a couple groups.
That's fair. That's fair.
So yeah, I will say doing a group run with a chair is very interesting for pacing.
It is more difficult.
Yeah.
It is more difficult.
So, but it was still a lot of fun. We were able to cross all. That was the other thing, is that once we got to the finish line of the because we kind of got intermingled within all these groups, like all these groups wanted to cross all together all at the same time. So it was like we almost had to like stop, wait for a whole group to go. And then like it was almost like a parade where you had to like wait for this group to go, and then wait for that group to cross, and then wait for that. So we ended up in like the second to last group or third to last group to cross.
Yep.
But it was nice. It was nice to all cross together and kind of, you know, do the thing together.
Yeah, and it was really nice, like just chit-chatting with everyone. I thought the shirts were really cute. I also, and this is just a shout out to Sparkle Skirt, they released this skirt a few years ago, and I missed it. The Valentine's skirt with like the little hearts on it, like, and I missed it, and I was mad about it ever since. And they re-released it this year, and it came in the mail, and I wore it for the 5K. Nicole wore hers too, and it's the cutest freaking skirt, and I love it so much. Like, so if you guys haven't seen it, all the little hearts, the conversation hearts, have like little running phrases on them. It's just like every time I look at it, it just like made me, I don't know, like it made me feel very girly and cute. So if you need like a little Valentine's, or the colors are fun, I think you could wear it whenever you felt like. But just a shout out to Sparkle Skirt, because it's freaking cute.
Yeah, it was cute. You guys looked cute in it.
Did you like it, Tom?
I just had the regular white, like the, it's actually one of my favorite, because they also have it in the black, but like the shimmer that's on it, the white and the black are very like rainbowy like looking. Yep, so cute. I always like those 2 skirts. I wore those 2 skirts this weekend also. Yeah, so that was kind of it for the 5K. We did a meetup at a place called the Lemon Bar. We had a good like I don't
big
know.
turnout.
It was a big turnout.
Huge turnout.
Yeah, it was actually more people than I thought. And when we got there, I was like, I think these 2 tables are going to be fine. And it was like not fine at all.
Yeah, it was a lot.
It was a lot of
It was a lot of people.
So that was really fun, and we saw Olan, which, if you
Yeah.
remember, from
That's crazy.
was so
almost
awesome.
5 years ago.
Yeah,
when we
holy
did
cow.
Run the Lakes, when she randomly came out.
That was our
to
first
meet our
year
stranger,
doing the show.
Yeah. So that was really fun to see her again. Shout out to her. I mean, we had a lot of people. Like, I couldn't even begin to start trying to list
many.
because I would miss people and then I'd feel sad and
Yep.
sorry. But I just wanted to shout her out because it had been almost 5 years since we saw her.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really, really cool.
Yep.
Yeah, it was cool seeing everybody. That was a really good time. I don't know. I love this community, and it was like we've all said, it was bigger than I think we anticipated it was going to be.
Mm-hmm. I had a stomach ache still. I had a stomach ache since I woke up on Saturday before the 5K because I drank beer all day the day before. And I literally, at one point during the day, just went to CVS and started drinking Pepto-Bismol straight from the bottle.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I mean, that was a good place to meet up too. I really it was very casual.
It was great.
They were able to separate checks really easily.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it ended up being the perfect quintessential beach
Meetup.
bar, right on the kind of right
The
on the
weather was
water. The
great.
weather was amazing.
Yep.
So thank you to everybody who came out and hung out with us. We had a great time. We got a pretty decent group picture as Tom wanted.
Yep.
I did. And you just kept shouting at me.
I did.
You have to take it now. And I
Well-
get it because you want to do it before people leave. I understand.
Yeah. Because people were already they only, people, the thing about picking a place like that is you want to pick a place that people can kind of come and go pretty easily from.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was a few people who were like, oh, I'm just going to quickly stop by. So I wanted to try and get it done before people dispersed pretty quickly.
Yeah. Nope, that made
So-
sense. No, it was good. It was good chatting with people. So I hopefully I did the rounds enough. I don't know. With those things, I never feel like I'm
I
doing
know,
the
I
rounds as
agree.
much as I should. So
It's real hard to
Yeah.
and also, I don't want to be standing the whole time because I'm sick
Mhm.
and I have problems, this thing called cancer. So I'm supposed to be not standing and moving around as much. So, I hope I didn't offend anybody if I didn't talk to you enough, but this is life.
Yep.
Yeah, didn't do anything big Saturday evening.
Very
Quiet
chill.
night in. And then Sunday was the big day of the half marathon.
Yep.
Anybody have any?
Let's see. The start line was very loud.
Oh, very loud. Start finish was very
I would just
loud.
suggest, I think they do a great job. Super wonderful job. Maybe like adjust the volume down a little bit.
It was
It was almost oppressively
by the end
loud.
of the by the finish.
The finish was too much.
I was overstimulated and it was almost too much for me to hang out. I actually had to physically walk away because I tried to have a conversation with somebody and I yelled the same thing 3 times and then I gave up and ran away.
Yeah, that was kind of why we disappeared after jumping ahead. Why we disappeared
Because I
after
was,
Grace.
I
It
was,
was so
I was
much. It was like,
overstimulated.
yeah, you couldn't even talk to a person next to you. It was absolutely insane.
I mean, there was a lot more that kind of goes into that with the emotion of
yeah, it's a lot. It
the
was a big-
crossing
yeah,
and
yeah.
all that. So there was probably a little bit more for me than just it was
I
loud.
think it was just in addition to everything that went on.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the start, we were able to find people pretty easily. I was actually a little concerned that we wouldn't be able to
Yeah,
find
I
people
thought it was
easily.
a really good starting area.
But the
easy to
starting
find
area
people.
was pretty easy, seamless to
yeah,
find people.
and we had actually, when we got there, I immediately went to pee. So we went to the porta potties, and then we saw almost everyone we needed to see, and then we ran to go drop our bags because we wanted UFOs and stuff for after the race.
Yeah.
But we had no issue finding people. And then when you guys got there, you took a photo of where you were. And then sent that over. I was actually surprised where you guys kind of stationed yourself in the morning, which is probably why you thought it was like so loud, because you were like in a main thoroughfare, like there are people everywhere, and I was like, if you guys just moved like a few feet back, it would be way less intense.
We didn't realize. So when we came up, I think part of it, again, I was in the chair.
Yeah.
So it was hard for me to see.
Yeah.
So you know how when you come down the start finish, there's the roadway, but then the corrals actually went not on the roadway.
Yeah,
I thought the corrals went the roadway. So I thought that we were off from where the corrals were.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't until like being there for a few minutes, once we started moving over towards where the picture was, that I saw that the other flags were like down that like not what like
on that grassy
courtyard,
area.
like whatever. I don't know what to
area,
call it, like a courtyard type area. I didn't realize that it actually went that direction, because it made much more sense once we like where we started, where the walkers' flags and stuff were, where the porta potties were. Yes, it was way quieter. And had I realized, I would have told everyone to go down that way immediately.
Yeah, because that's where we were before we went to go drop our bags off. And then when we came back from dropping the bags off, I was like, why are they over here?
Yeah, because I thought that the corrals went down the roadway, which to me...
And Megan said they
like
had in years past. She said this is the first time they were kind of where they were. So I don't know what happened.
But yeah, I mean, it was pretty well organized for...
Yeah, really, yeah. Great start, great energy.
We got to see a lot of people that we hadn't seen even earlier in the weekends. I had shirts made for this race also that Diana was uncomfortable wearing.
Very uncomfortable.
I did not have a shirt because I was supposed to run the marathon alone, and so I was not going to wear one of those shirts by myself.
So the shirts were essentially... may I suggest cancer in a few different ways. So like tired of working, may I suggest cancer? Yeah. And they were like an old school like ad vibe of like the 50s ad vibe. So it was like tired of shaving, may I suggest cancer? Tired of working, want a boob job, may I suggest cancer? Like making people uncomfortable, may I suggest cancer?
That's the one I got. Because I was uncomfortable.
Like humor about death. May I suggest cancer? Yeah. But yes, and on the back of them, they did say, team will run for Erin's boobs. So that like, you know, it wasn't just like this random shirt.
Yeah.
But yes. So they were fun. I don't know. We started out all together. There was a big group of us.
Yeah.
Like
20.
15 to 20 of us?
Yeah, something like that.
Which we tried to stay together through probably the first like 6 miles, I would say. That there was a lot of
got to the north
back
end.
and forth. It was really, I will say, hard for me. So for my experience, I had no control over like where I was, what I was doing. And in my mind, you know, like any other race we've ever done, like Shamrock, Flying Pig, you know, you see drinks, you see food, you see booze, you see dogs, you run to pet them. I can't physically do that because I'm in a chair. So I'm at the mercy of like wherever the chair is taking me. And other people are taking pictures and I can't run up to be a part of it. So I will say that it was very hard being in the chair a lot of the time and it's not to anybody's fault or detriment or anyone's anything, but like there are moments where like I could see people taking pictures and I couldn't run up and be a part of it. And that was difficult for me. So it was a weird experience for me. Yeah. Not one that I know that I'm not 100% sure if I could do it in a large group like that again. And I think that's why, because, you know, when we do these big group races, the big group races are for that kind of camaraderie and that kind of fun where you're like taking shots together and you're eating the bacon together, or you're putting together your Bloody Marys, because this race was no shortage of, when I say I had heard that the Donna doubles down on fun, man, those neighborhoods, they come out.
Yep.
Yes,
It
they
is
do.
absolutely insane. There were full bars at some of these places where you were making Bloody Marys and mimosas. And and it was amazing. And I feel like being in the chair, I sort of missed out on some of that, of being able to run up and like hang out and like do those things. And again, it's not anyone's fault, and I don't feel like I got left out or anything. It just is what it is. That's just the nature of this type of race. Doing something at like a smaller race where you don't have that kind of thing, where you're not stopping with friends regularly, I think it might have been easier. I think it was just a little harder because of the type of race that we chose.
Mm-hmm. Yep. No, that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, at one point, I think Nicole caught a beer off a balcony. So, and was able to, like, run up and do that.
Yeah,
and,
the vibes of this race were on fire, I have to say.
Yeah. No, it was really good.
I know we weren't with you when we went down that one road. I remember turning down one road, and I forget, they had the name of the road, and there was, like, the boob balloons like hanging off, and like the whole road was just like a giant party. Like there were just some roads where the neighborhoods were just like full on there for the party.
Yeah, and it's interesting to just the way you think about this race in particular, because it is a very jovial, very party vibe.
Yeah, it's like a celebration of life
with an underpinning of a very serious subject matter, right? So like everyone's there, like acting out is not the right word, but like there's a lot of emotion, there's a lot of expression out on the course, and it's definitely embraced by the community, in a way that I don't know that a lot of races are.
Yeah,
so I think. It's hard to say it was a good experience. It was definitely an experience that I'm very happy that we were a part of. Specifically for you, but really everybody there, like everybody there has got a story.
Yeah, and there's like signs about like, these people who, survivors and thrivers and all kinds of things. So, my mom, and you're hearing kind of stories, and you're seeing things on like people pin who they're running for on their backs, and their shirts all, say running for my mom or running for, so like there's like this layer of emotion on top of this party atmosphere that is very interesting.
Yeah. And it is interesting because I guess it did feel like a party atmosphere, but I just kept thinking about it as like a celebration atmosphere is what it felt like.
Yeah. We did take communion.
Oh God, that was so weird.
It was so weird.
We did not take communion. Tom took communion.
I took it. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. We turned a corner, and this row of people have like these tiny, not even Dixie cups, the tiniest cups of wine.
Yeah, that's what communion is.
I know. But I took the wine, and then I saw the cracker.
Hosts.
The
host.
The cracker, and I'm like, oh, this is not. Oh, these people aren't just handing out shots. No sacrilege, but that was a first for us.
Yes. That was
because a block later, there was a house full of frat boys throwing Busch Light at people.
Yep.
So
and as per tradition, they refused to give one to Mike.
But no,
why is that? Like, you've got to look like a narc.
I had my button-up shirt on.
I don't know. But doesn't that happen to him all the time?
Yes,
it's like Shamrock where everyone gets the
Shamrock.
drinks.
Yes, we were just talking about this at Shamrock. I was saying it this weekend because we were talking about the beer tickets. And I said that Shamrock's one of those races where no one cares except if your name is Mike.
Yep. Oh, God, it's so good.
no shortage of mimosa stands.
Oh, there was tons of mimosas. Actually, at one point, Nicole's like, I actually need just a beer because the champagne's hitting me. And I was like, I could drink champagne all race. Give it to me.
Melissa ended up like with a whole, basically like a splash of orange juice and like a whole thing of champagne.
Yep.
At one point.
Yep.
They also stopped to get coffee for me, which turned out to be a cluster F.
Oh, yeah.
That they were not expecting.
All of a sudden, they were gone. I was like, where'd they go?
Yeah, because they went to go get coffee, and they thought they'd be able to catch up, and then it didn't quite work out the way that they anticipated. The line was way longer than they expected, so they disappeared for a very long time.
Yep.
But yeah, what else? What was notable? I mean, when I say there was a ton of dogs, I don't even know like how many dogs I ended up petting.
So many.
But my favorites were Blanche and
Edna.
What was his name? Edna. Yes. Mm-hmm. Blanche and Edna, which we saw on the way out, and then on the way back they had the party hats and the goggles.
Yep.
Which killed me.
They were amazing. Oh my god, they were adorable. Yeah.
But I had like people just putting dogs in my lap because I was in the chair, so everyone just kept bringing dogs up to my lap. I don't know. I would say that I got over 20 dogs. We lost count at some point.
Oh yeah.
I was
not in charge of the dog count, but
yeah, I feel like there were dozens. Yep, there were tons of them out there.
Yeah.
So just logistics wise, the plan was to walk it, and we did walk it, and I think we maintained and this is a range, but like not 15, like 16 to 18 minute mile the entire time.
Yeah, 16 was a little slow. When I kind of look, we maintained in between like a 17 and 18 minute mile.
Yeah.
Basically the entire time.
Yeah, because you have to also think about like us stopping so often. Because I think that it was about a 4:12, right?
Mm-hmm. And at the beginning, there were spots where there was more stopping. Like, so there was a little bit of stopping right at the beginning. And I know, Aaron, at one point you were like, "We're not maintaining pace. We're not maintaining pace." And I was like, "I'm looking at my watch, and I feel like we are."
I think it was because we were stopping as much as because if we did like was it like a 4:12 or is that? Am I off on?
I think you're right on that. That sounds right.
Because that's like a 19:14. So with all of our stops, that would make sense because that means that we were actually we're walking probably between around a 17-minute pace.
And I don't know how we got so far ahead of you. Like all of a sudden we turned around and like we didn't even see you guys anymore. And we were doing like a 17. I was looking at my watch. We were doing like a 17, 18-minute pace.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm not really too sure either.
One shout out I'd like to give. Thank you, Lisa Knits and Trains, for lending us your sister.
Oh my God, you're so great.
Kathy was everyone's mother. Everyone's mother that whole weekend, but like
delightful.
Specifically with like she stayed with me and Diana, Tanya,
I was glad that
Nicole.
I was glad to see that she was with you guys when we caught up with you. Yeah, I know Dana was with us most of the time because she ended up pushing the chair for a little while. And I remember Melissa ended up taking the chair and Dana was giving her instructions for a little while and saying how you have to put your weight into like the turns.
Yes.
Because both of them were like, oh my God, this chair.
Oh, yeah.
And speaking of Steph and Dan, shout out to Dan for getting us the chair.
Oh, yeah, for
driving it all the way down.
Yeah, for sure.
We couldn't have done it without that.
Yeah.
It was, absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Indy has some thoughts about that.
I don't know what's going on out there.
Something's outside that he's reacting to.
He's like...
The cat is out there.
Constant vigilance.
Taunting him. Yeah,
taunting him. Stop!
But yeah, so at mile 13, we all pretty much came together. And I got out of the chair and I walked across the finish. I don't know. I think at that point I was just ready to be done. That I don't know that it hit like all the feelings and emotions that I was sort of expecting to kind of happen. I don't know. Like that moment felt very oddly numb to me.
I think it's because you were overstimulated.
Yeah, I just think that there was so much happening.
Mhm.
And then the race announcer Fitz like came running over, and like I felt like that almost took away from my moment because like all of a sudden I had this announcer in my face, and like I don't know, it just then everyone else was like trying to give me my medal and like make sure I had everything, and it got to be this very overwhelming moment, and I felt like I needed a second. And then that's where I was saying where it was so loud I couldn't hear anyone, and then it just became almost too much for me, and I was like, I can't be here.
Yeah. Well, because people want to help, but then at some point you're like, I don't want to be doted on like this. Like, let me just like do what I need to do.
Yes.
So I get it. Like, I tried to like kind of stay away.
Yeah, and I felt bad because I felt like we didn't get to say goodbye to people as much as I would have liked to at the end. But it was like too much of a moment for me. And I was like, I can't do this, and I need to leave.
Yeah. There were only a few of us hanging out for a while after. Like, we went and we got our shoes, and then got our they were out of really beer, so we got White Claws, and then they had like, what the hell were they? Burritos?
Burritos. They had like a veggie burrito and like a chicken burrito.
Yeah, which was fine.
Yeah, I mean, I would have liked to have stayed to like see like what they had at the finish. I just think that this year, with everything that had been going on, with the chair, with trying to get the chair back to Dan, like making sure everything with that was okay. I think it was just, I think this year was not the year for me to like hang out and like celebrate. Like,
no, I gotcha.
It was just a little too much for that. And I would love to go back to this race as a different type of race, in a much more celebratory way if I could, to be a part of this again, and have a different experience with it. But I don't think that I was in a place for that for this year.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
which, I mean, you never know how it was going to pan out, right? Like, I think this is something that it's the definition of it was what it was, right?
Yeah.
I still think that, and you know this, there were a lot of people there supporting. It was a real sense of community, I thought.
Yeah.
Which was nice. Oh, we didn't mention Run Disnerd and Kelly were there.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Saw them at the start. Never saw them again.
Oh, they stayed with us for the first like couple of miles, and then I think he's actually in shape right now, so he had to run.
Yeah, I hate how in shape he is. It irritates me.
Yeah. Well, Jen and Tracy, Jen Iorio and Tracy Howard, they were with us shortly. Both of them PR'd their races, so congratulations to both of them.
That's awesome.
So we did have some fast holes out there running their own races. Totally support that. Totally love that. I know that Tracy had messaged me and was like, "Oh, I'm sorry I didn't get to stay with you. I don't get to do that many races outside of Run Disney." I was like, "No, this, like, if anything, that's like how you honor me. You go chase after your dreams, chase after your goals, man. Do you?"
Yep.
Go get it. I love that for them.
Yep.
I'm just thinking, is there anything on the course? Like,
no, just tons of people were out there.
Yeah, it was
even like
well supported.
Yeah, even in like where they were, like we were like mentioning people had drinks and all that fun stuff. People even had like miniatures that they were giving out. Like I got like 3 different miniatures from people.
Yeah, there's a lot of blow ups. There was a lot of there was like a couple
lots
dinosaurs out there. There's lots of families.
Yeah, it was really great.
Yeah, so that was good.
There was that giant skeleton that we took a picture in front of.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Yep. So we got we did some like quote unquote character stops along the way. Trying to think. No, we I know it was fun. Like we were dancing and singing Chapel
lots of music.
And Yeah, so
And then we had Jess, who was basically the party mall walker herself.
her vibes are immaculate. I want her next to me on every race.
Oh my God.
She basically had a Bluetooth speaker tied to a string around a race. I'm like, everything about her's chaotic. Like, there's everything.
And she had the mall walker
She had
outfit on.
the most 80s outfit
mall
ever.
And
walker,
she had high
her
noons.
high noons. Yep.
In
Oh
her
my
fanny
God.
pack, and she's
Yeah.
like, "You want a nooner?" And I was like, "I love you." I'm like,
Oh, God.
And then she played.
She's a
she had
trip.
she had the best she was playing like the funniest best music too, because at one point she played this mashup of Britney Spears' "Toxic" and "Pony," and I thought my heart was gonna explode. I was like, "What are you?"
Oh my God.
So it was
Yeah.
fun and dancing and it
Yeah.
was good. And I was glad I got to like chat with everybody while we were walking and
Yeah.
it felt like a Shamrock.
I feel like
I
I need to. I feel like I'm remiss in not naming like everyone who's out there, but I feel like I'm gonna miss someone
Yeah.
because I mean Kelly was out there, Lexi,
So many
Steph.
people,
Yeah, I
yeah.
mean it was a really good time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Tanya,
it was fun.
Yeah.
And then
Tanya was-
shout out to Steph as well, because she was at the races in
Heather.
Disneyland and then
Oh,
all of
yeah.
a sudden showed up in
Yeah.
Florida.
Yeah, Steph did the first 2 races at Disneyland and then showed up for the marathon.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know she was planning on doing that. When I saw her Sunday morning, I was like, what in the hell?
Wait, weren't you just at...
Weren't you just in California?
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean...
I was like, weren't you just texting about, like, there was a delayed start in Disneyland, like, 24
Yeah.
hours ago?
The support was, it was unreal. It's
Yeah.
really just, like, crazy.
Yeah. So, thank you
Yeah.
to everybody who came out and hung out with us. Thank you to everyone who shouted us out through the weekend, whether you couldn't be there and was just there to support us. We really appreciate all of you. This podcast family is something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I'd definitely do this race again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I want to get back to Flying Pig, and that also is kind of a similar, like, fun party pace, atmosphere. So I think if we do like another big like meetup type run, like we should definitely add that to the list eventually. Not this year.
Oh, yeah, because that's only a couple months away.
Yeah,
But yeah, for
next
sure.
couple of years. Yeah, that's a good one. Mm-hmm. And then also, I didn't realize that there was a Margaritaville right there. So next time we do Donna, I'll be staying at the Margaritaville Hotel, and
we
we'll
can
just see,
reclaim
and we'll
our-
just see what happens.
We were telling somebody, who were we telling
I
that
don't know.
story to? And
This
they were
weekend,
like, they were like, oh my God.
Yeah. Our bill with Jacob.
Yep.
Jacob.
Yeah.
Sending Jacob's future kids to college.
Yeah. Oh man.
And the race actually did sell out, so I will say that, but it sold out like the week of because poor Mark was going to register and kept waiting, and then it sold out. So
he was a great photographer.
just keep that in
though.
mind.
He was a great photographer.
We saw him like 10 times at the end of the race.
Yes. He took some really great shots for me.
Yeah.
Yep. So I thought that was good. And then, when we dropped the On the Ground, there was some good content because
my God.
Tom was
I don't
walking
even know
with Aaron
what-
for a long
I
time.
got to listen to it this
I
weekend.
don't even know what that is going to be like.
And
Sorry.
Tom kept like walking away from where he was
I
supposed
know,
to
I know,
be
I
and
know.
talking into nothing.
I know.
And he just kept saying like, so I don't even know what you guys are going to get, because he kept going, I don't know if this is actually recording, but blah, blah, blah.
Or he'd be like, okay, are you ready to record? I'd hit the record button. And then there'd be like 5 minutes of silence. And I'm like, Tom, are you ever going to say
Oh my God.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So it was good. It was
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep. It was chaotic, but we were glad.
It was,
yeah, we got to see you guys and hang out, and then we actually saw you guys at the airport.
Oh,
Yeah, that's right.
No,
I was asking Tom for the audio, and meanwhile, we were 20 feet away.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Or whatever it
And
was.
Diana was just yelling at us, same!
Yep.
We're at the airport!
Giggling.
That was fun.
giggling.
in all caps at us.
Yeah. But I think like everyone was just like done and overstimulated by the time like everything was over, which tends to happen on a race weekend where like everyone's like
it's a
ready
lot.
to do stuff on Friday and Saturday and Sunday. You're like, please don't talk to me.
Yeah.
So we literally got like carry out and watched the Grammys in our hotel room Sunday night.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's what we did.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it was a good weekend.
But it was good. And
Yeah, shout out to Melissa who let me stay at her house
Yeah.
for the long weekend.
And her husband.
And her husband for cooking us dinner
and
and breakfast multiple days
Yep.
and letting us steal his wife and taking care of all the child care
Yeah.
while we stole her. So shout out to Matt also.
whoop whoop.
Yes.
Yeah. How you feeling, Aaron, about everything?
Tired.
Just tired. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, back to reality, kind of hard always. Coming off of these kinds of weekends where, I feel like coming off of big race weekends like this is always difficult, but I think it becomes more difficult when there's that like extra weighted feeling of getting back to like, the reality of cancer.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, because literally we got back and had an appointment.
Yeah,
the
I
next
had
day.
to, what did we have?
What was it?
I don't even
Tuesday?
know.
I don't remember.
Oh, we had the mapping for radiation.
Yeah.
Radiation
Then
mapping,
Wednesday
and
you
Wednesday
had to
the
get a
biopsy
biopsy
and
and liver,
blah, blah,
yeah.
blah. So, back to full on reality immediately. But
Yeah.
You're just getting poked at.
hopefully next week I will start some radiation and get some of this pain kind of under control and hopefully get back to a little bit more normalcy again.
Yeah, and then you can eventually get to the point where you're like Tom, whose toes are falling off and has blisters on the bottom of his feet.
Okay, well, I'm not sure I want to go.
The blisters are fine, really. It's the
Blisters are fine.
it's the pus underneath my toenail.
Oh God! Why?
That was
Why?
full
Why?
circle.
Why must me do that?
Can I move us into something good?
Absolutely.
Are you
That's definitely move us away from pus,
From pus
in
toes?
the toes. Yes.
I'll go first.
Oh,
Speaking of pus-filled toes, we started watching Bob's Burgers.
yeah, we're
Oh.
so dumb.
I don't know why. Like, it's obviously been on forever. It's so funny.
God, because we just like, you guys know us, like we always want to have like some type of sitcom just on in the evenings that we don't. We kind of like can half pay attention to while we're doing other stuff and just hanging around. Yep.
I always thought it was so dumb because I was a Simpsons / Family Guy guy.
Yeah.
And I'm like Bob's Burgers. Whatever, that's dumb.
Tina.
I
Are you a
laugh so
Tina?
freaking hard.
It's so funny.
It's so
God,
funny.
I haven't
love
seen
Tina.
it in quite a while, but I used to watch it regularly.
Diana's definitely Linda.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
100%. You got Linda vibes. But everything about it, it's dumb. It's funny.
so dumb.
Love Bob's Burgers.
Somebody wrote on my something good that I'm supposed to talk about Traders UK.
Oh, that's great. That's what I wanted to talk about too. Weird.
So weird how that appeared on my. But really, my something good is we've been binging. Speaking of really dumb, what we do in the shadows,
Oh,
which
yeah.
I know
Yes,
that Michael or Diana and Tom are big fans of to begin with.
I feel like
and,
that's been our something good several times.
I'm
It's
sure
so
it has.
freaking stupid.
somehow the two of us. It was always one of those things that we said we would pick up, and I think we even started like watching an episode or two, and then something happened, and we just never went back to it. And now I'm delightfully like laughing and giggling. It gets dumber and dumber and dumber too.
It's
like it's
so
not
dumb.
like it's so bad, but so good. I love it, and we laugh incessantly over it. But also Traders UK was also very good.
That was
so
a great season.
Yeah, it was a really good
Traders,
season.
I think, is getting more and more popular because I was on a Cody Rigsby ride the other day and he was talking about Traders.
yeah.
Yeah, the problem is the U.S. one sucks.
Well, you think the U.S.
Yeah,
one
it
sucks.
sucks.
Everyone else does not.
It's all the stupid Bravo
It's not
people
all.
and
It's
stuff
not all.
and challenge
It's half and
people
half.
and blah blah blah.
Oh my god.
Give her the reality stars. Let's make it good.
Oh my god.
But I
Stop
will
it.
say, Loki has a great house show.
Oh
What's
my
his
god.
name? Alan Cumming.
Oh my god.
Alan
yeah.
Cummings. What was it called? Paradise Homes. It's amazing. You got to watch that.
Doesn't he host Traders?
Also,
Yes.
does.
isn't
That's where
Alan
this came
Cummings
from.
Not Loki.
Yeah.
Yes,
Isn't that a running joke?
Yes, it is Michael's
Oh, look,
running
I'm dumb.
joke.
Look, he
I'm
looks
dumb.
exactly like an older
does
Tom
not look
Hiddleston.
He
like-
They're the same
absolutely does
person.
not.
They're the same
It's
person.
so weird to me.
But he has a show where he goes to these wonderful homes around the world called Alan Cummings Paradise Homes, and it's a really wonderful.
This just went off the rails. You went from like 1,800 different things.
By Loki. I got Loki'd.
What? We weren't even talking about Loki.
Said Traders.
Oh my god, I hate you so much.
You know what? You know what he's in that's excellent. That if you haven't watched in a while, go back and do it. The early 2000s hit Josie and the Pussycats is a goddamn masterpiece
Is he
that
in that
no
movie?
one
I
talks.
didn't-
Yes, he is.
Yeah,
The music was great from that.
It's so
Yeah.
good. It's so underrated.
It is. You're right. That is a good one.
Gonna have to
It's
find
so
it now.
good. Oh god. Michael, was that yours? Was that actually what you had written down, or do you have something else?
No, my real one is, of course, the greatest time in sports.
Oh my God.
The NBA trade deadline is
You don't
here.
get to have 18 something goods.
Who are you, me?
What is happening?
It's the most important week in sports.
Oh my
NBA
God,
trade
I cannot.
deadline.
I
Luka
don't-
being traded. Jimmy
I don't
Butler's
even know what
getting
any of this
traded.
I don't even know. Yeah, what is happening?
I don't know, but it's big for us.
It
Oh.
is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Apparently it's
Okay.
big for us.
Oh.
Who
You know what
knew?
else is big for you? Philadelphia is in the Super Bowl.
I don't even know who's on the team.
It doesn't matter.
Oh,
You're
God.
right outside of Philly.
I don't know. All I care about is Gritty.
The
So
coach lives in our town. I wouldn't even know him if if I ran into him in the
I
supermarket,
get it.
and I
I
probably
get it.
have.
I'm only watching Kendrick Lamar. I'm not participating in the Super Bowl this year. Like, I'm coming out for
We will
Kendrick.
probably be watching What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah. So
Oh my God.
that's my plan. And I know Tom is very emotionally attached to the Super Bowl, but
I don't care about either of these teams. I just
He-
like the
he
pageantry
likes
of the Super Bowl.
I can't this year.
I
it's
would
just-
like people
everything.
who-
Every time I turn on the TV, something
It's
else
on.
with the Super Bowl
Oh,
pisses
God,
me
yeah.
off. So I can't do it. Like, I will not this year.
Well, I think that what people don't realize is more people don't watch it than do watch it.
I usually take a bath.
Are you? Is that a stat, or are you?
That's just statistical reality.
I'm gonna need someone to fact check Michael on that.
There's 340 million people in this country, and it gets approximately like 110 million viewers.
123 million
123 million. There you go. That's,
for a population of 338
there
million.
you go. 338. Sorry. So,
So it's still like a third of the population.
How
watches
many
it's
people
a
it.
have
third.
cable?
That's a lot of people.
which means 2/3 aren't though.
Yeah.
It's not my show. I'm just saying I like the Super Bowl. I don't need to defend it. All I'm saying is
You'll be watching.
You basically live in Philadelphia, and your team is in the Super Bowl.
I'll
I grew up- I
probably
was a-
be
I was a huge
finishing
Eagles
Onyx
fan growing
Storm.
up. Onyx Storm.
Yeah, I'm behind on that, so I that's probably where I should be also.
I'll be
Yeah.
editing this podcast because I'm dedicated.
Oh my
There
god.
you go.
Go Birds.
let- Jesus. My something good. What did I
I've
put
been
for my
wanting to
something
see
good?
to watch this.
Oh, my something good is the Wild Robot.
Yeah, I've been wanting
And
to watch that.
we wanted to go see it in the theaters. And when we originally saw the trailer, I started hysterically crying during the trailer, and Tom was like, "It may not be a good idea for you, to go see this in the theater." Like, both of us talked about it, and then we waited for it to finally get on free streaming, because I think it's been on paid streaming for a while. I think it's streaming on the Cock right now.
Don't say it like that.
If anyone is familiar. And it's incredible. I cried again, as one would suspect. I cried literally the entire movie. It's just so cute. And my brother actually watched it and was texting that he was crying as well.
Oh, wow.
So-
Yeah, it's been on my list of things to watch, but I don't know that I've been in an emotionally stable enough place. Although I guess is there an emotionally stable enough place to watch this movie?
No, because I'm completely emotionally stable and I lost it. It's a book series because I got my nephew.
Did
for
she
his,
just say that she's
heard it.
emotionally stable?
I heard it. She kind of slid that in there.
lying? But I got my nephew the book series for his birthday this year.
Okay.
So, it's a little book series. Yeah. It's
Well,
very
I'm going to
cute.
recommend something good called.
my
Can
God.
I get another one? The Blythe Spirit.
No, you don't get another one.
What is that?
I don't
It's
know.
on
Can
Max.
we be done?
So it's an older movie.
Okay,
where
we're done.
Right.
We're about to hit 2 hours.
Where
I'm out.
the guy's
You don't
dead
get
wife comes
18
back to haunt him, and he's the worst person in the world.
Oh
His
my
new
God.
wife is the worst person in the world, and the dead
How did we
wife
go
is,
from something that was actually good to this?
It was fun. It's on Max. Check it out.
Oh my God. I don't know what just happened.
Michael,
Tom, make it
Michael,
stop. Make it
this is-
stop.
Okay, I'm gonna wrap us up, but we are getting close to 2 hours, and you're gonna have to edit this. Good luck finding all the F-bombs that are randomly
Oh my God! I
scattered
know.
in here.
Hidden throughout this one. Yes.
I'm gonna wrap us up with an
God.
excerpt from my new favorite song. And I quote, "I'm feeling good from my head to my shoes. Know where I'm going and I know what to do. I tidied up my point of view. I got a new attitude."
Oh my God.
Shout out Patty LaBelle. Shout out to
God,
everybody
help
that was
us.
at Donna.
Yes. Thank
We
you.
all we love you all. Share the show. All that good stuff. Thank you so much for listening. Diana wants to
Google
say
Greg.
something.
No, I was gonna say
Google Greg.
I can't believe you didn't use a Kendrick Lamar quote to
Oh my
celebrate
God.
him.
He's too white to do that.
This is too much for
You
me.
know, if
I'm going to bed. I'm going to bed. Good
All
night,
right.
friends.
Go Birds!
God.